I'm Lisa McMann, and my books are about Janie who gets sucked into people's dreams. She can't control it. She can't do anything, she can't tell anybody about it because they think she's a freak. So Janie kind of lives on the fringe, and she's cursed with this ability that she doesn't want and can't control. And then she gets sucked into the dream of a mysterious guy named Cable who dreams about killing someone and also dreams about her. So that's where the books begin with Wake. And with Fade, we continue on, and you get to learn a lot more about Janie's ability and what effects that has on her. And then in Gone, we have our conclusion. And yes, it is indeed the very last book of the trilogy. And that's the way it will stay, I think. I'm pretty sure we're not going to write another book, but I keep getting asked that everywhere I go, so thought I would mention that. But I have a very interesting cover story for you, and I thought I would just tell that as my little intro before we start doing some questions from you guys. Now, if you know anything about being an author, you might know already that authors really don't have a say in what their book covers look like. So usually when you write a book, the editor takes it and you work on editing, and then somewhere behind the scenes the editor is talking to somebody else in the art department, and they're designing a cover for you. And when they're done designing the cover, they send you a little attachment, photo attachment kind of thing, and it's the picture, it's your book cover, and they say, here it is, here's your book cover. And if you say, oh my gosh, that's the worst cover I've ever seen, I hate it, they say, oh, well, too bad, that's your book cover. And so we don't really have any say in what those things look like. So I was very, very lucky to have Wake as my cover. I love the cover. You guys love it?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? And Sammy Ewan, who is my artist, put that together. He's at Simon & Schuster, and he created that. And that was the 13th version of the cover that they finally decided to go with. So, do you want to show it around so everybody can see? Cool. So that's the first one. Now, with the second book, in my contract, we had an added clause, and it said cover consultation, which means when they sent me the Fade cover, they said, here's your cover for Fade, what do you think? So I got to answer that one at least and say, you know, and if I hadn't liked it, I could have said, well, I really hate this cover a lot, and it's terrible. And they'd say, okay, thanks for your input, and guess what? This is your cover, so too bad. So that's what cover consultation is. You get to respond. So anyway, with the third book, I was very, very surprised to get a phone call while I was on tour last year with Fade, and I was in San Francisco. And my editor called me and she said, hey Lisa, we're thinking about the Gone cover for next year, and we're wondering what you think. We're thinking about putting an empty chair on the cover. What do you think about that? And I was all like, yeah, that sounds great, because it works really well with the story, and it fits in with the theme, and it just sounded really cool to me. It sounded sort of ominous, like what would people be thinking? Who's supposed to be sitting there or whatever? And I was like really pleased that she even told me what they were thinking about doing. So that was already cool enough in itself. And then she said, well, if you see any chairs you like, just take a picture and send it to us. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, this is really great. So I was in San Francisco staying at this place called the Clift Hotel. And it's a really funky hotel. It's like one of those with all got kind of vibes going on, and you're all like dark and innovative, and it's all just really funky and cool. And I remember seeing a chair in the lobby, and it was very dark, and there were these spotlights on it, and I thought that was really cool. So I took a picture on my cell phone, and I just sent it to my editor, and a couple months later, I get this, and that's A couple months later, I get this email, and my editor Jen says, "Here's your cover for Gone. What do you think?" Because I got cover consultation on that one too. And I looked at it, and it was this cover, and I was like, "Dude, that is the photo I took. I am a photographer now." And they really used it. I mean, it's almost the same. Sammy, the art guy, did some different things with the colors and stuff, but all these light spots and stuff here were original from the photo I took, and the floorboards, you can see, that's just the way it was in that hotel, which is so cool. But the coolest thing happened a couple weeks ago, when I got my first copy of Gone, and I looked in the back flap and it says, "Jacket photograph copyright 2010 by Lisa McMann." So I'm thinking, I'm a professional now. If this whole writing thing doesn't work out, I got something I can fall back on. So pretty cool. If you want me to take your picture on your cell phone, it'll cost you, but I will do it. I am available for that tonight.